A great EPK is one of the most powerful tools for upcoming DJs. If you're an aspiring producer or even an established one and wants to get more opportunities, then a great EPK can help you get more DJ gigs, help you get more music signed, and can create opportunities for press, media, and other coverage as an artist. In today's video, I'm going to look at the electronic press kit, break one down, how to make one, what should be in one, and also why you should have one as a DJ and music producer. So let's do this. Firstly, what is an EPK? The electronic press kit is a collection of all your media in one place. So that's from your bio, to your press pics, to your music, to your mixes, social media assets of people playing your music, to coverage you've had in the media maybe. Also things like your tech rider and your personal rider for when you're playing, and also your social media numbers and your growth and your Spotify numbers. So that anyone who wants those sort of stats, they're all in one place. The EPK is usually split into two parts. Firstly, the cloud drive with all the raw assets and all the individual parts, which people can then use, like myself as an editor. There's also a second part, which is the One Sheet, which basically pulls all this information together in a nice PDF, which looks bright and looks attractive, which you then send out to promoters for DJ gigs and also for A&Rs to record labels. You'd maybe send this with a covering email and maybe a link to a mix if you're sending it out to bookers. Your EPK can help you get managers, booking agents, label managers, publicists, and so much more. So it's really important. Also, EPKs are sent out to myself, editors of magazines and blogs and websites. Data transmission has always been a blog and a magazine, and therefore in the press and the media. Over the last 16 years, I've seen thousands of electronic press kits. I've seen some great ones and I've seen some awful ones. And as an editor, I will use that press kit and all the certain assets of it in different ways when I'm creating an article about different artists. So what do you need to put in your EPK? Well, firstly, put yourself in the shoes of the person receiving that electronic press kit. What are they going to need? For my use as an editor, I need your bio, your press pics, and sometimes videos for social media. Some editors might need to know what you've done previously and your numbers and your reach. And let's jump into my computer now and look at an EPK broken down. Okay, so we have one here from an artist that I've worked with in the past, and here's an example. The first part is, as I mentioned before, is the delivery. How are you going to deliver your EPK? And usually I had to say it comes in a cloud drive. And this is what we've done here. We put it in a cloud drive on my Dropbox so that when we send out one Dropbox link to all the assets in one place. And it's easy to get the assets. You can get them from each folder, and it's quick and easy and reduces the friction for anyone that wants to use it. And you can use either Dropbox or Google Cloud or iCloud, whatever is your preference. I'd have this over using a WeTransfer file because WeTransfers expire and you have to then keep uploading it every time someone needs it. Much, much simpler. So let's look at what goes into it. It's your bio, your photos, your social videos, your logos, your music, your DJ support videos, and maybe even a mix. Although I probably prefer that on SoundCloud if I was you. It's going to get more reach and more listens, and it can be public. Maybe having your latest music in a music folder is definitely key, especially if you've had an absolute banger. When you send it out, say to a booker, they're going to know your music from your drive. When we talk about live footage, maybe you've got previous live footage of you DJing at club shows or events and shows it going off, or maybe some live footage from DJs playing your music out there, which then shows your reach and people are into your music. Your bio is a written piece of text about you as an artist. Usually these days there'll be a short bio and a long bio. It'll have such history as into why you got into the scene, what you're about as an artist, what music you're making, and previous wins that you've had, and a little bit of brief background history. As I said, these days bio comes in a short version and a long version, and you want the short version to be just a couple of paragraphs and the long version to fit on one A-side sheet. If you've had a long history in this industry, try and summarize it still into one side. No one wants your life history. No one's going to firstly read it. People read very little these days, and that's why you have a short and a long. Keep it to the facts and the most recent history. The short bio is going to be super punchy, and we'll go on things like SoundCloud and Spotify, where you've got less text and less space. It's literally going to be the headlines to give the person a taste of what you're about. The bio will also have your social media links at the bottom, so they can find the rest of you online easily. I would have this bio on your One Sheet, but I'd also have it as the separate files, and just even sometimes as a raw text file that people like myself, editors, can just copy and paste the text. I can't tell you how many times I've had a PDF where the text has been all slanty and I've tried to copy it and it's gone a bit wonky and it's not really come out right. What a nightmare. Thank goodness for AI that you can just put that in now and say rewrite it into a much simpler version. Then we're going to have a section also for your press photos, and here you can see we've got background from 2019, 2020, 2021. I know for a fact that this is not his updated one, it's just a copy that I've got. He'll now have just his 2024 photos. And when it comes to press shots, having high resolution photos that you can maybe use on your social media, your profile pictures, and all of your content across social media. And again, for myself as editors, I use high resolution photos for press content. Press shots are also your things like your cover images. You can also use them with your artwork. Promoters will cut you out of them and put them in artworks. They'll also be the artist cards you get when you're playing festivals on club shows. So they're so important. They can also just be the swipe image that swipes across to some music that you're trying to get people to listen to on social media. So you've got a photo of you at the start. Now, you can pay a professional photographer, and that is definitely advisable to get the best quality images possible. And there are some great photographers out there, from the really experienced and the really professional and good quality, like people like Dan. What a G. His photos are amazing. Go and check him out on Instagram. I'll link to him below. But also, there are loads and loads of up and coming photographers, and maybe just putting on your stories, I'm looking for someone to take my photos of, and anyone that's in photography that might be able to help me as an artist, reach out to me. You might find someone that's local to you and that can then take your photo where you are based. Bigger artists will replenish their shots every 6 to 8 months. And also maybe if they've got a big release, they'll get some new photos just for that release. Smaller artists maybe do it every year, so you've got a fresh look and a fresh feel every year. The other thing you can do is that if you've got a decent iPhone or decent phone, you can get some great photos on that just from your home. When it comes to taking photos, you want to work on a 2/3 rule. Make sure there's a third of space above your head, and make sure you look cool in the middle. You don't need to have headphones, you don't need to have kit, you don't have to have mixers or CDJs in your hand. The fact it's a DJ press shot is implied. Just stand there looking cool, whether it's against a plain background or in a space out in where you're locally from, to give you a bit of depth. If you can't afford lights, then don't worry. Use the sun, and maybe do it at the first thing in the morning or last thing at night before the sun goes down. This is called the golden hour, and you actually get better quality sunlight, and it makes you look really warm and look really cool. If you do want a light, then I use the Ulanzi light, which I spoke about in my tools video, which is this one, and I'll link to those below again so you can go and grab them. They're only 20 quid and they're a really good light. When it comes to getting photos, go with different outfits. Get a few different shots in different locations with different clothes on, so get a whole range of photos. Get some portrait, get some landscape, and have a mix of quality photos. A decent press photographer will give you these, and then they'll edit them out and they'll make them look cool as well. And as I say, just look cool. Sometimes it's very difficult, especially when you weren't trying to work out what to do with your hands. But I would definitely study other DJs for photos to see what they're doing and kind of copy their stances. It definitely works. Now we have all the assets, we're going to start pulling them together into our one sheet. And you can actually do this in Canva. Let's jump into Canva and have a look. So I've fired up Canva, and actually in Canva there's a thing called Media Kit. And if we have a look at Canva, there's loads of different options of Media Kit which you can choose from. And these are really like templates. And if you scroll down, there's some really nice ones. And it has some of the depth and the information you need. And these are all your Media Kits. Like this one's got stats. And what I would look for is one that kind of feels like you. Now we're going to go in and edit it and obviously put your own photos, your own bios, your own stats in there, and even change the colors up. We're just looking for one of the styles that you like to make it easy, because it's already laid up and you're just going to drag and drop the bits in and make it you, basically. It's just a nice starting point. So you have a scroll down, and then we'll click into one. Let's have a look. Visualize. This one looks quite cool. Let's click into this one. So we click into this, customize this template, and it fires it open. You can literally click into each of these assets and just change your names. You can drag a photo into here, change all the stats, change the about me, change the other pictures, change this information and make it your own. Put your own website in here, put your own logos in. But essentially it gives you the starting point, which makes it really easy. As I mentioned before, I've also seen people include their tech riders. So what tech you need to make the performance, especially if you're using a certain setups, and you need to have those to make the best performance, or even make the performance happen in the first point. The other thing is also having your personal rider, comfort things like water, maybe glitter cannons, unicorns, and towels signed by Prince. All the things you need to make your performance happen. Do you have any comments around EPKs and electronic press kits? Drop me a comment below and I'll answer all of them and get back to you all in the comments. If you found this video useful, then I've got tons more videos for DJs and producers to help you understand this side of the industry. Everything after you've made a record, everything after you've learned to DJ, all the skills you need to become a professional artist. Did you tune into my recent live stream on how to get DJ gigs? If you didn't, check it out here. And this is where you're going to use your EPK to send it out to the promoters that are booking club shows and festivals. So go and check that video out next, and I'll see you over there. I've been Grahame Farmer. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.